Right, we are busy trying to, I suppose, find ways to remember Winnie Madikizela Mandela, and members of the ANC Women's League are also at the House. They've been there today visiting. The League President Bathabile Dlamini says that the mother of the nation, who was once the president of the League, encouraged women to be strong. She joins us now in studio. Thank you very much for joining us. And with you we have Mr. Laibon Mabasa, who knew Mam Winnie throughout, I guess, the time in the struggle and afterwards. To both of you, thanks very much for joining us. Let me start with you, Minister. We heard what you said earlier on, and it was spoken from your heart, and I guess this is a great loss for you personally, not just for the Women's League.
It is a great loss, but I'm proud that today I am where I am, and most of us are where we are because of Mam Winnie.
What did you learn personally from her?
Fearlessness, bravery, love for the people, understanding patriarchy, because at some stage apartheid patriarchy was able to pull her out of everyone, because during the time of the struggle there were other men and women that were there, but the strongest of them was Mam Winnie, but she was able to survive that.
All right, I'm going to ask a little bit more about that and why she had this fighting spirit. But Ntate Mabasa, ideologically, perhaps you were not on the same page.
I don't know that.
Belonging to different parties, I guess, back in the day. But when it came to looking after the people, you managed to work together. Tell us about that time and some of the work that you did together.
Mam Winnie was completely unbelievable. She understood the goal of the liberation struggle. She was able to literally integrate herself into the work of the Black Consciousness movement in the 70s, to a point where in 1976, when leaders were asked to come forward, she was one of those people who came and volunteered, became a member of the Black Parents Association, along with the president of the BPC at that time, Kenny Rachidi. I remember when the regime actually tried to assassinate them on one of their many trips to go see the students, see the parents, and 8 bullets were shot into the 404 Peugeot in which they were traveling. Mam Winnie would have been assassinated. Kenny Rachidi, the president of the BPC, would have been assassinated. Tom Mantata would have been assassinated. And throughout the period, I say, our relationship with Mam Winnie, we always make a joke, and with her I would make a joke, Mama, everybody keeps his fist half-mast now. And Winnie has remained with her fist right up there, declaring the power of the people.
What was it about her? Why was she fearless? Why was she so unafraid when she had every right as a vulnerable woman to be afraid?
She was a child of adversity, and adversity, challenges and detentions and suffering created a rock-like person in her. Lots of people, of course, go out and say, Winnie did this and did that, but nobody can deny the one fact that Winnie loved her people, particularly black people. And I think that's what drove her every day. I was saying to the minister quite early, I say, you guys are cowards, because the only person who had shown such great courage that women in the squatter camps, in the shanty town, they would tell you, they would say, the only person who would come and sleep with us in our places, woke up in the morning, wash her clothes, including her underwears, with us, is Winnie Mandela. I remember I was in the United States in 1990, and somebody asked Ntate Madiba a very tricky question. He says, what is your position about black people in the United States? and the super statesman that he was. He started by saying it was an internal thing and so on. And Winnie asked for a microphone. And she said the conditions of black people in the United States is the same as the condition of black people in South Africa, and therefore their struggle are exactly the same as our struggle. And people went in raptures. An absolutely brave woman who did not compromise and was not afraid to speak truth to power at any given time.
Tell us a little bit about her leadership and her leadership qualities, because it's one thing to be fearless, it's another to step forward, but people followed her, and it must have been something that she did, a quality that she had. Why was it easy for people to follow her?
Because she led by example. She would give a directive and be part of that directive. One of the things that I remember very well is when we had a National Executive Committee meeting and there was something going on in the Northwest. And then we closed the meeting. There was a coup there, and we went straight there, all of us. Some of us were very much afraid. And then we went in there, and she started getting a briefing and gave marching orders of what was going to happen. But also, being able to agree to stand for the position of the Deputy President of the ANC long ago. And at the time, I think South African women did not believe in themselves. I agree with him. And we were happy when she declined. And when you look back now, you can see that she was going to be one of the best presidents South Africa would have, more particularly because of her heart towards the poor, towards children, towards women, and towards young people that were committed to the struggle.
And yet she didn't step forward for that position, for that nomination, and it speaks to her general demeanor where she didn't chase positions, and yet she always found herself leading. Why didn't she chase these positions?
I think she understood that the struggle was not about positions. Actually, when she had to resign as the Deputy Minister of Arts and Culture, Comrades Thandi, Lulu, Zokota, myself, and others wanted to put up a fight. And then the following morning, we went to her office to call Comrade Harry Kwala, because they were both firebrands, and most of the time they agreed on issues. And then we called Babu Kwala, and Babu Kwala said to us, "Hey, you, who do you think you are? Winnie never joined government. Winnie joined the struggle for the liberation of the people of South Africa. She joined the ANC to fight for the masses of the country, and therefore no one will ever expel her from the ANC. And she's going to continue being a member of the ANC. And Mam Winnie has been a member of the ANC through thick and thin. And Mam Winnie fought patriarchy outside and inside the ANC.
We're speaking about the roles that she played, and you spoke about caring for the poor and the children. Talk to us about the time with the Black Parents Association and the work that she did with children in particular. And, you know, we keep hearing people like Julius Malema talking about her, our mother. We always went to her. The first place we went after we got expelled from the ANC was to her house. We learned everything from her about politics. What message did she have for young people during that time?
Let me start on the point she talked about. On the 21st of March 1976, we had a commemoration at St. Hilda's. Now, those who regard themselves as leaders, they will not go and attend a meeting where they are not speakers. Because when they go to a meeting, there should be something about them. But I remember Mam Winnie came to St. Hilda's, joined everybody, and speakers were young people, and she was there. But after the 1976 uprising, when the Black Parents Association was set up, it was at a time when lots of young people had been shot, and we needed people either to go and tell families who don't know why their son has not come back, why their daughter has not come back, and the Black Parents Association has been informed by other students that so-and-so has been killed. And the parents are in Kilani, the parents are in Msimhlope, the parents are, and they would go talk to the families, console the families, make arrangements with the families on how to bury those people. But almost the entire leadership of the SRC then had a direct relationship with Mam Winnie. It was before the title of Mother of the Nation was put on it. They used to call Robona Ousi. They are going to see Usisi. So she started from Ousi and even reached the level of being what she later got referred to as Mother of the Nation. She was always there. She was always listening. People want to leave the country. She was listening. She was assisting. They needed food. They needed places. And it was at a time when there's a period when the struggle in South Africa did not get as much external support as it did in later years. And therefore, to try and organize food, to try and organize resources for people was one of the most difficult things. She had church people who were very close to her, people like Bishop Manas.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to stop us there, but thank you very, very much indeed for coming in and sharing your thoughts about this great, great woman. Thank you so much indeed.